This is week 4, worksheets 2 and 3, science, animal group behaviors. Remember on day 2 we do questions 1, 2, and 3, and then on day 3 we do questions 4, 5, and 6. Remember all of these answers can be found inside your reading about animal group behavior. I'm going to read through the questions real fast once before I read through the article once, and then you should read through it once as well, because we need to read through it twice before we answer any questions. Number 1 says, what is the purpose of group behavior? 2 says, how do honeybees work together in groups? 3 says, why do animals form groups as part of the Great Migration in Africa? And then flipping over to the back for day 3, it says, why do meerkats live in groups? Why do flamingos live in groups? And why do fish swim in schools? So I'm going to flip to our reading. I've already gone through and I've labeled where my subheaders are, so that way I know what it is that I'm about to read in that section of article that we have. I've already labeled my paragraph, so here you can see P1. I've done this on all of the pages, and you should go through and you should do it too. So I'm going to start reading. I already know when it says definition of animal group behavior, I already know what it is I'm about to read. So it says, group behavior is what animals do with other animals to help them survive. Groups can be large, like a herd of 1,000,000 wildebeest, or small, like a pride of a few lions. Humans live in groups also, and we work together to help one another. The purpose of group behavior is to help living things survive. To better understand animals' behavior in the wild, let's break it down. As you can see, I've already labeled these paragraphs continuing after P1. I've got P2, P3, P4, P5. My subheader up here says, animal group behavior can involve a few animals or thousands. So this is going to talk about how big. I can already tell that because it's if we have a few animals or if we have thousands. So here in P2 it says, animals can form groups that are big or small. An African lion pride usually consists of about 13 lions. By forming a group, they can hunt more effectively. It helps them survive. Wolves also form small packs of between 5 and 11 individuals. Wolf packs also hunt together and defend themselves against intruders. Wildebeest can be found in huge groups of over 1,000,000 in East Africa. So think about how big 1,000,000 is. Wildebeest are very vulnerable to predators, meaning that they're easily taken down by predators. So a lion could easily attack them and kill them, which is why they live in such large herds. When a predator gets near, they make an alarm call to signal the other members of the herd. Interestingly, they also stay close to zebras. Scientists think that they hang out with zebras in hopes that the predator will catch a zebra instead of a wildebeest. Wildebeest are part of the Great Migration, during which time they travel from the Serengeti in Tanzania to the grasslands in Kenya. So these are different countries in Africa. The migration is in a circle consisting of 500 miles of grass. Traveling in large herds is the safest way to make this journey. So basically what they're saying is that if they travel in big giant groups, they're not going to easily be taken out by other predators like lions. So I've already read that page, so I'm going to flip. So here I've got my subheader, and I've labeled my paragraphs P6 and P7. So it says groups can help animals defend themselves. So now I'm going to learn about how they defend themselves in groups. One of the main reasons animals form groups is to defend themselves. When there are more individuals in the group, there are more pairs of eyes to look out for danger. Meerkats stand up to look around for predators, mainly big birds that might attack the group. Meerkats, which live in the African savanna, have lightly colored fur to blend in with the sand. They dig burrows with many different rooms. So burrows are like their homes, but they're just underground. Entry points and exits so they can escape and hide from predators. All the members of the group also help take care of the babies. So then I'm going to move down. Here's a subheader that Ms. Soker didn't label, but we can fix that. So we've got subheading. So this tells me that groups can help animals gather food. So this is on gathering food and being in a group. Another reason animals form groups is to gather food. Honeybees are very organized. Worker bees are the most plentiful bees in a colony. One of their jobs is to supply the colony with food by collecting nectar from plants. Worker bees communicate with each other by doing a waggle dance to direct other members of the hive to flowers. When they return to the hive, worker bees share food with other bees and feed the bee larvae. So remember, bee larvae are just the little baby bees. Without working as a group, they could not build such an awesome home. And we've still got a little bit more to read. So it says here that groups can help animals find mates. And remember, mates are just like a husband and a wife. When animals live together to share food, it is much easier for individuals to find mates. Colonies of flamingos can range in size from 50 individuals to thousands of members. They typically form groups because they share the same food source, which consists of algae and shrimp. So algae is just like a little plant that grows in the water. One of the benefits of living together is that they do not need to travel far to find mates. This helps them survive because if they had to travel far, they could get eaten. And then we have on our next page examples of animal behavior in groups. So then we've got 1, 2, 3 pictures with little captions underneath them that describe what's happening in the picture. So this is why Miss Soga wrote captions. So here you have a picture of some ants carrying a leaf. So this says leaf cutter ants chop leaves and carry them back to their colony. The leaves are used as fertilizer to grow fungus. So fertilizer is things that helps plants grow better, which is shared with the entire colony. We move over here. We have some geese that are flying, and they're flying in a V shape. So it says migrating birds. So migrating means that they fly south for the winter because they like warmer weather. Migrating birds fly in a V formation to help them conserve energy. And conserve means that it helps them to not use as much. Each goose flies slightly above the one in front of it, which reduces their wind resistance, which means that the wind gets to them less. Then we go over to the next one, and we've got some pictures of some fish that are swimming closely together. And this says that most fish swim in schools to avoid predation. So basically, they're trying to avoid the bigger fish and sharks. 80% of known fish swim in schools because it is a very effective defense, meaning that they can stay away from the big sharks. So after you went through and you read this, you're going to go back to your questions and you're going to answer them. So remember, we have to use sentence stems. So question number 1 says, what is the purpose of group behavior? So we'll get rid of those yucky question words. Now Miss Soger's only going to do it for this one. And we're going to say the purpose of group behavior is and then Miss Soger is going to go back to the article and she's just going to start right out where it talks about group behavior in paragraph 1, and it says, group behavior is what animals do with other animals to help them survive. Well, now I know the purpose of group behavior is to help animals survive. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to underline that. So, is to help them survive. So the purpose of group behavior is to help animals survive. So you're going to go through and you are going to read through all the other paragraphs. You're going to figure out your own sentence stems for the rest of these questions. Remember, get rid of the yucky question words like how Miss Soger did up here. She got rid of the what is, and she just left the purpose of group behavior is. So you're going to go through that. You're going to do 1, 2, and 3 on day 2. And then you're going to do 4, 5, and 6 on day 3.